afternoon, everybody. I know see y'all been waiting for Remarkable to get on the platform and talk about these issues. Because, we have had some stuff going on this week alone. And you thought last week was some hot, steaming, piping coffee. This week is like by far the absolute insaneness. So where do we start? We're still talking about the Delta variant and how the cases are going up and how the vaccine is officially released and all these different things are happening and people are getting information from all over the place, everybody. Now most of y'all usually hear me come on here randomly and talk about these topics. Like I bust up with pop-up broadcasts, but I have to schedule them now because of my busy schedule now. And I come on here on Thursday to have those heart-to-heart conversations. And today I'm actually face live, on direct, uncut. Delta variable. They got another one out there. Limo variant. All these strands out here. It's absolutely insane. People don't know what they're coming and going. Some people don't know should they get vaccines. Some people say, man, I should have got vaccines. Some people say, I should have got vaccines. Some people say, I wish I didn't get vaccine. It's a mess. Our kids are like back and forth, are so indecisive, like what to believe, who to believe, what to feel, how to feel. They're all over the place. Us parents, we're all over the place. We don't know what to expect because changes happen so rapidly they're gonna cause us to go insane. Then you have the older generations who's like, oh my goodness, this is happening, all this happening. We can't get back to any type of normalcy ever because it was like a tennis ball match, everybody, where everything is happening sporadically. Every week is something different. The numbers go down, the numbers go up. Things are closing, things are not closing. People going back to virtual, people going back to virtual school, and people going back to working at home. It's like repeat of 2020, but 10 times worse. People are fighting overseas, trying to get into the country, troops, all of this stuff going on. And I understand we're living in our last days, but this is a heart-to-heart conversation today. Like, we got a mess going on. And I encourage you to pray. Like, pray for your family, pray for your loved ones, pray for everybody, because everybody needs prayer. We're talking about the schools fighting every day. You get on the news, you hear about the schools, the cases, the numbers, people protesting. And I knew they were going to have a protest when they wrote in law that they were not going to have kids be opt out of wearing masks. And that was going to be a fight. A gentleman got arrested the other day, which was yesterday. If anybody's seen that on, I guess it was CBS News, where a gentleman got arrested for doing a protest for cutting up. It was a white guy, of course, and he got arrested for it. And I'm gonna actually share that link on the On Time Ministry page because I don't want to flood my page with all the different content. There's a lot of information I'm going to share before the end of the day, everybody, about what's going on. So people protest about mask and no mask. People protesting about vaccine and no vaccine. People just all over the place. And most people like Remarkable. Why you speaking on it? Because Remarkable Queen of Inspiration has to put her voice out there. You can sit here and be quiet all the time, but you have to speak up and articulate your voice so people can understand what you're talking about, okay? And what I see happening is, it's like every time you think things are getting better, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And every time you think things are starting to improve, it's getting worse and worse and worse. It's getting worse every day. You don't know what to expect when you wake up in the morning. There's so much death, there's so many funerals, there's so many things that are happening right here before our very eyes. We don't know if we're coming or going, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know what to expect each and every day. We don't know how to feel. We don't know what to expect. We don't know what our day is going to be like. We don't know what's about to unfold. We just don't know what's going to happen. We just don't know what to do. And I tell you this, every day is very challenging for every last one of us. The rules change. 1 minute we're going to the left. Next minute we're going to the right. It's a complete mess. And all these videos, let me tell you something, everybody. Everything you see on social media, you cannot believe. This is why you got to go back into the textbook form of things. If you want to know about politicians and how the rules were made, go back and read that. Social media was made for entertainment. Now it has become a debating epidemic where everybody has an opinion and everybody want to say this and everybody want to say that. and everybody want to do this and do that. I can remember going back in time when MySpace was created. It was just basically having fun and showing pictures of your family and yourself and creating backgrounds. And all of a sudden, now social media has turned into be a debating place where you have to share your opinions, get upset with somebody, frustrated, all of this. That's what I consist of. Social media, the social media I consist of, it was consist of entertainment, having fun. That's what I had a MySpace page for, to have fun, not to take things seriously. But now people get so serious on social media, and I get so offended that it has turned out to be the newspaper. It has turned out to be the soap opera. It has turned out to be the local radio station. It has turned out to be the TV station when you ain't got the TV on. That's how serious this thing got. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you name it, all these different platforms, TikTok, all these different platforms have turned out to be all these things. And I mean, you have to pick and choose your battles. And you have to really dig deep. Before social media, what we had a telephone, a landline. Come on, y'all know my age. We had a landline. If we wanted to see somebody, we go knock on their door or call them from their house on the landline or on the cordless phone. Okay, if you wanted to email somebody, you had to write a letter and put a stamp and put an envelope in the mailbox. That's what you had to do. That's how you get in contact with somebody. What was the computer? The computer was the mailbox. You want to write an email, you had to get yourself a pen and paper and write that thing on a piece of paper and put an envelope on it and stamp it. If you want to have like a video chat, it wasn't video chat back then. It's called a three-way call line, where you had all these different people on the party line and everybody talking on it. Okay, if you want to go to a friend's house, you really had to go to their house and physically talk to them. It wasn't no video chat. It wasn't no folding phone. It was none of that. None of that stuff existed. This didn't all start coming into like the late 2000s, where they came out with the heavy cell phones. Okay, then they went from the heavy cell phone to the flip phones. And then they upgraded to get the Nokia phones. And with the Nokia phones, then they came out with the flip phone with the cameras. Then they got so improved and they started making smartphones. And then smartphones have turned to be so commoditive. That's when social media started to roll, because MySpace came in, and then High Five and all these different platforms started to unravel. Then Facebook came, then Twitter, then Instagram, then Snapchat, then TikTok. All these different platforms started serving. How many of y'all remember Black Planet? How many of y'all remember American Single? All these different platforms. And I'm telling you, things start to change over time. And these things really start to change over time because of the technology, the things that are built, the things that were formed, the things that were created. This was for entertainment purposes. Now it has become a shouting mouse and a debating mouse. Oh, what's the hottest smoking coffee we can drink on? Whose business we can survive? Who can we talk bad about? Who can we say things that are hurt? Or what can we do to influence people? These things take heed because we allow those things. And what we allow is going to continue to consume us. Each and every day we are poured in things that may not be the right information, but to us it may seem right. What I'm going to tell you is going to really blow your mind. Go back to history. Go back to the roots of it. Go back and look at history. Go back and look at your history books. Go back and do some research. Go back and do this thing. But the problem is everybody wants microwave success, but you're not getting the right information. You're not getting the right nourishment. Okay? These devices here, what we're using, were created for communication, for people from long distance, for work purposes, school. Now it has become a back and forth shouting match, and it's been very useful during this pandemic because we weren't able to go and see relatives and friends and family and all these different aspects. It was also using a positive aspect of it, but it's also using a negative aspect too. So it's like back and forth. It's negative and then it's positive at the same time. So you got to pick and choose which side you really want to be on. You want to be on the negative side all the time where you're bashing somebody, or you want to be on the positive side of it where you are saying you're speaking your truth. And I haven't spent too much time sitting here going back and forth with people, and I told you I completely changed on that matter. That boldness on a whole nother level is on some others. That chick gone. She had to go. But this is real hardcore facts. Look at the stuff that you're watching on social media, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the things that you're listening to. Pay attention to the subliminal messages that are being sent out to you. All the stuff that we're seeing, all the stuff that we're looking at. Yeah.
What you doing, boy?
I'm gonna find wolves.
Let's think about this for a minute. The action, the violence, the crime, all of this stuff is going on every day. And it's worse. Let that sink in, everybody. Let's go back in here. We got homelessness, sexual trafficking, human trafficking, child abuse, domestic violence, molestation. What else? Pandemic, mental illness, mental health. All these different things are taking place right here in our very eyes. It's so dark and it's so painful to deal with or even face. And we get so caught up in by everything that we consume in our bodies that we don't really take time to find out what's true and what's false. Okay? You have to take time to find out what's true and what's false. Don't take a lie and run with it. Go do your research and find out what's really going on. And when you do that, you'll be surprised the information that you receive. Okay? You'll take time out to really understand the truth of what things really look like. You make a lie look so convincing, but that truth looks more polishing. I'll tell you why. Because guess what? With that truth, a lot of stuff that was covered up is starting to surface out. Most people disagree with that concept because they've been taught different ways, so they don't know anything different from what they were taught. It's not their fault. They just was brought up in a place where they were taught these different values. But when you start to pour into yourself and start to really study and understand things a different way and have a different perspective of things, I'm telling you, it is a real eye opener. It really makes you open your eyes even better. It really makes you open your eyes even better because you start to see things in a different perspective. You start to visualize things differently. You shouldn't go here with your eyes closed and shut like this. You really have to understand that all of these events that's happening right now is supposed to take place. When people doing all of these weird things, it was already written in the book of life. Like recently they had this whole thing about the crate challenge. Usually I don't partake in this foolishness, but this here is taking people's lives just as much as the pandemic. So we got something to try to distract people from all what's really going on to something that has nothing to do about what's going on. Okay? It's called you follow things and you continue to follow in that path. Most people I shared the content on my page thought I was joking or being funny. No, I was being serious. What I said in my post was absolute concrete evidence. Something mentally is not right. Where people got to go get milk cartons or crates to stand up on and walk on it like a platform. It's something not really stable going on with them. It's nothing good about what they're doing. It's not positive. It's like being influenced of doing something that you know can hurt you and break any limb on your body. And when you don't realize you're doing it, you're going and following the in crowd. And if that person get hurt or have brain damage, you're laughing and joking at them for making a mistake. You're not trying to say, hey, you need to stop. Hey, I don't think that's safe. You're not going to be that fellow brother and sister because you're sitting there filming them with the video camera, laughing at them, and all your friends and followers laughing at them with you because you're laughing, so they're laughing too. You're not trying to reach a helping hand, or you're not trying to say, hey, that's something not really right about that. That's something you really have to really understand, because if people continue to do the same pattern, the same behavior over and over again, it's going to continue to go on and on until they're willing to change it. Everything that you see on social media is not for you to try. Everything you see is not for you to do. Don't be a doer. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. And so many people don't know how to be leaders, so they choose to be followers. That's a choice, right? That's a choice. And the choice you make is clearly up to you at the end of the day. And when you make these choices, these are the consequences for every action, right? So everything we're seeing unraveling on social media or on the news in the world is happening right before our eyes. So we have to really continue to stay prayed up. We continue to have to ask God to cover us because we are in some real trying and difficult times in our lives. Everybody's affected by this in some shape or form. It may not be very big, but somehow everybody's affected by what's going on. And it's affecting you in different ways, and you're handling situations in a different way than that person or that person. A lot of people practice a lot of yoga. A lot of people practice Pilates and meditation, gratitude, and all these different things that they're doing. They're doing this to help them become a lot more aware of the things that they're doing with. You know, self-care and self-love has been talked about so frequently in the last year or so, and it existed before then, but like really it's talked about it more now because a lot of men and women didn't know that self-care and self-love was very important because too, some people don't know how to self-care themselves. Some people don't know how to love themselves. Some people don't know how to appreciate themselves. Heck, some people don't know how to do any of that. With mental health and mental illness on a rise for elderly, parents, guardians, older people, children, people are going to counseling sessions. People who are experiencing things they've never experienced in their life. People are having emotions and feelings that they've never experienced before. People are starting to witness things about people that they thought were really on their side, but in true reality, they had a different perspective. Relationships are starting to be torn apart. Friendships are starting to be torn apart. Marriages are starting to be torn apart. Anger and tension and frustration. People are really starting to show their true colors. You thought they showed them in 2020, boy, they come and busted wide open now. And they're not sugarcoating it. They're not hiding everything. They're putting everything out there for the world to see. There's no quietness. There's no sheltering. There's none of that. All the things that you see right now happening before your eyes, ladies and gentlemen, is happening. Real life, uncut, real life situation, real life issues. And those who are like me are trying to do everything we can to stay positive and stay in a place where we are sane to help ourselves, but also help other people. And we sit here and talk and share our views and appoint different techniques, but are we applying those techniques to ourselves? Are we using the same things that we're talking about and putting in our own life? And truly, honestly, I do. I'm very disciplined. I'm very obedient. I don't get on here every time I literally don't even pop on Facebook Live. That's how much I completely change altogether. Because everything that you see is happening in our lives is unraveling over and over again. So like I told you all, be careful of the videos that you watch. Be careful of the things that are being shown to you. You gotta test the spirit. And most people don't understand that because they're living in the human flesh, so they don't know what that experience feels like. And they don't understand that. And that's perfectly fine. I say that why? Because everybody don't see it or understand what that looks like or feels like in their life. And they can't really understand it. And that's perfectly fine because everybody has their time and their season and their journey and their levels of growth each and every day. The choice that you use and things that you do is up to you. And what I want to leave to you all today is stay prayed up. Be very aware about your surroundings. Pay attention to the things that are being shared to you that it doesn't attach to your spirit. Do your research. Go back into the books. Go look in the encyclopedias. Go look into the history books. Go pick up some of these books at the library. Because before the internet exists, those textbooks was the internet. Okay? Those textbooks were the internet. Those history books, them heavy books we had to carry. Y'all know what I'm talking about? The encyclopedias and them textbooks we had to carry. Go back and open them things and read them. I'm telling you, I'm old school, but that was the internet before the internet even existed. I gotta think about that. That was the internet before the internet existed. Those textbooks, those encyclopedias. I'm not being funny. I'm being real. You want to know the truth? Go back to those encyclopedias. Go back to those history books and begin to read. Go to those libraries and check out some of the books. Spend an hour and really read and really take some good notes and find out the truth on a lot of things that you've been missing out. And I'm telling you, once you start to read, when you start to self-educate yourself, which most people just want to stick it in the microwave for like 2 or 3 minutes and it's over. That's the world for you. They want it quick, hot, and hurry. But when you self-educate yourself and really dive in and go back and refer and go back and try to confirm it and then try to talk to somebody who's been in that, in that generation and see what their perspective is, you have a better understanding because you're getting a lot of wisdom, you're getting a lot of knowledge, you're getting a lot of teachings in this. This is an educational preaching and teaching platform. But I want you to know the truth about things. People all the time be trying to convince me to do this and do that, and at the end of the day, I can't follow you. I'm a leader. I can't follow you by example. I have to self-educate myself. I used to be a follower long time ago, but that's not in me to be following people. I have to follow God and where He's leading me to, and what He's teaching me, and the people He's connecting me to, and the people that are pouring things into my life. I mean, certain things you see aren't always what they seem. And I'm saying this to get you to understand that what you see and what you hear is not always the facts or the correct things for you to really understand. Go back and check them encyclopedias out and go to the library and check out them books and just sit there and read. Grab your journal, you use your tablet, and just sit there and just pick a few books out the library. Or if you have books at your home, encyclopedia, dictionaries, go back and see what these words mean. See what history look like. See where all of this comes from. And when you go back and dig all this stuff up, and you like, most people don't have time for that. That is true because the world's like a microwave effect. But when you sit down and really want to know the truth about things, go find your information out. You'll be surprised the information you'll find out. That truth will hit you dead in the face because you see it before your eyes. Okay? All right, everybody. That's my time. Thank you all for tuning in. I love you all. Have an amazing and a blessed Thursday. I will see you back here on Saturday at 10 a.m. for the mental exercises. Checking in with our youth. We're going to have another heart-to-heart conversation. This upcoming Saturday, we're going to talk about our youth and we're going to talk about their behavior and we're going to talk about their mindset and what does it look like, and also to talk about the anxiety and depression. And we're going to talk about some of the trigger points you may see in your children and teenagers and what that really looks like. Okay, everybody have an amazing and a blessed Throwback Thursday. This Remarkable Queen of Inspiration, the founder of On Time Ministries. Be blessed, be empowered, and definitely be lifted. Take care, everybody. God bless you.